How are you doing, guys? This is ZDEyE here. So today I definitely wanted to touch on this information that just recently popped up regarding of the next follow-up for the PlayStation 5. Now this PlayStation 5 will have a little bit of a different feature. It will introduce a detachable disk drive, and of course this is coming from Tom Henderson, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Tom Henderson, and basically he mentions this report. Now, in terms of what Tom and his reputation, he does have a very good reputation, but this depends, of course, on the source that he has heard from, and if it does come into fruition. So I want to read out this really quick article that they have actually published. It is coming from the insidergaming.com, and if you want, you can read it for yourself. It's relatively short anyway. So the PlayStation 5 is set to get a unique overhaul in the middle of a fictionalized year of 2023, with the new console launching around September 2023, says the sources. Sources familiar with the Sony's plans have shared details under the condition of anonymity outlining the next iteration of the PlayStation 5. It's been suggested that the new console will completely replace the ABC chassis that have been in production since the console's launch. The console, currently named the D chassis PlayStation 5, will have most identical hardware to the existing consoles already on the market. The most surprising new feature of the this new PlayStation 5 though, it is that the console will have detachable disk drive. The detachable disk drive will connect to the PlayStation 5 using the extra USB-C port on the back of the console. So it's understood that this new PlayStation 5 console will be sold on its own or in a bundle with the detachable disk drive. It's also understood that the disk drive can also be purchased separately. So if it gets busted, there's no need to buy the entirely new console. That's very good news. Sources have implied that although new detachable disk drive is portable, it will not ruin the aesthetic of the console and will attach it to it without looking external, presumably meaning the new PlayStation 5 will look similarly to the existing model. However, the new detachable disk drive could entail that the new iteration of the PlayStation 5 would be slimmer and lighter, which is something Sony has been trying to implement effectively with its latest PlayStation 5 models. It is understood that Sony is anticipating production of 18.5 million units of the new PlayStation 5 console in fictionalized year 2023, and only 12 million units of the A to C chassis consoles have begun to be phased out. Sony Interactive has reported that as of June 2022, the company has shipped over 21.7 million PlayStation 5 consoles. If these production figures are to be believed, it suggests that the company is expecting a significant ramp up in the next couple of years as the hardware components start to become more readily available. So that's good. Basically, an opportunity of seeing a new console already, that's going to be interesting. Now, I'll be honest, it's kind of disappointing the way the hardware is not going to be much of a change. Instead, they're going to be concentrating making the console smaller and lighter. As long as it's quieter and it does look interesting or good, that's all that really matters. But the main thing I would like this console to have is better hardware, meaning that with a guarantee of 60 FPS with the 4K capabilities, always, that you don't actually have to make that choice and within the game that you go with performance route or the quality route. With quality route going like native 4K with the 30 FPS and the resolution bump, it would have been like 60 FPS with a dynamic 4K. I'm talking about native 4K with the 60 FPS. And if it can reach to that standards on any game that even is hardware taxing, that's what I'm looking for. So we don't have to make that kind of a decision. And because of this, it seems like this report has indicated that unfortunately it does not seem like it's actually going to be that the case. Or there's going to be much of a difference, it's just that the console will look a little bit different or perhaps very different. It will be lighter and smaller, not necessarily quieter, because that's far more important for me now. And also having a detachable disc tray, it really does not matter to me. Right, because like my console is sitting under here, under my TV basically. I'm looking constantly at it, but I ignore it. It's no big deal. No matter if it's bulky or small or big or giant, whatever. It's there. as long as it's doing its purpose of actually playing great games and doing phenomenal job with its performances and having no issues as well and having the longevity, that's what really matters, at least personally to me, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. And of course, like, look, having a disc tray as a separate component, I think it might be a good idea, but also that might be a problem too, if you really think about it. That actually could make the console louder, because if the disc tray is kind of an exterior factor, right? For example, because right now as the disc trays are, they're inside in the components of the PlayStation 5 consoles. Like, they really are there. You can't really hear when they're actually spinning. But if it's in the external, external version of the disc tray, it means that they will be louder. And also, if you're using a USB-C connector just so it connects to the console, wouldn't that mean that it would be not as efficient as it is currently? I'm not sure. Of course, that part I'm just speculating. But still, it's going to be interesting to find out more. I hope it, I'm down for the, innovations coming from Sony. I'm down for that for sure. But I'm curious to see how this actually will plan out. And as long, it doesn't seem like they're going to make any upgrades towards the hardware, because I feel like that's the more important thing. Like, is there really a need then for you to pick up this version of the console? And perhaps maybe they'll call this a PlayStation 5 Slim now, since it's reported that will be maybe coming sometime around September 2023. So yeah, there's another year to go. It still feels like these consoles are very, very new. Perhaps maybe 2023 is a little early. I would have given, maybe give us another 2 years. 2024 of September would have been better. And of course, by then, perhaps have something like a PlayStation 5 Pro as well included. Because go with a similar route that the PlayStation 4 did. Say the same year you're coming out with a PlayStation 4 Slim, and a month or two later you release the PlayStation 4 Pro, right? And same case in here with the PlayStation 5s, like they have reported around September 2020, 4 as an example, right? Release the slim version, have that detachable disc tray if you want to or not. It can be as a bundle if you wish for that decision to make, or you go with the PlayStation 5 Pro. But of course, if it's a far more powerful version, obviously I do expect it to be a bigger console. But like I said, how big the console is, it really does not matter. As long as it looks good, at least somewhat presentable, that's all that matters. As long as it does not have those components on the exterior, and so there will be no problems of, if dusts get in, so that would not be an issue. And of course, that's not going to be an issue. As long as it's quiet enough, that's what matters to me. As long as it's more powerful than it currently is, that's also what matters to me. Yeah, well, that's just my thoughts. Do let me know what you think about this progress of the, a possibility of the next PlayStation. It's going to be interesting. Not PlayStation 6, obviously, because we're still going to have to wait from now, 5 more years from now. God. We're flying with time, aren't we? Jesus. Alright, do like and subscribe. See you guys all, and have a wonderful day.